Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I recreated this look. This is basically a tutorial on how to contour and highlight if you have a round shaped face like me. And if you want to make it a little bit more narrow and elongate your face, then please keep on watching. So first of all, now that we've done the foundation, we're going to move on to the contour and the concealer. And actually I think I'm gonna start off with concealing. And for concealer I am using the Urban Decay Stay Naked. I hope you can see that there. So I'm using that, and this one is in the shade 50 CP, but I'll link everything down below in the description box. So what we're going to start with is the fact that we have to keep it, closer to our inner corner of the eye, because I have a very wide shaped face, meaning that if I would take the concealer all the way up here, that will basically highlight the fact that my face is even wider than it actually is, so I like to keep it all the way here and not go too far out. So yeah, for keeping the face as narrow as possible, we're basically going to focus on the inner parts of the under eye. And don't hesitate to take it up to your nose, because you can always do this trick to make your nose look even more narrow than it is, That's always a good thing. So I just lay this down, and what you can do is you can blend this out already, which I'm gonna do now. So I'm just gonna keep it close to the nose and the inner corner, right? I'm not really gonna shape my wing fully or anything like that. So, and you can always take it down a bit if you've got a lot of concealer. See, it's already shaping my nose a bit, and that is getting a little bit narrower, a bit more narrow. So yeah, that's exactly what we want. And as this concealer is pretty close to my skin tone itself, or my foundation shade, I am going to go over it with another concealer. And I think this is a tad bit lighter. And this is by e.l.f. And this lighter shade, we're really going to concentrate up here, right? As you can see, I'm really concentrating that on the inner part. And of course we're going to do the concealing as well with this one. So I'm just going to conceal the bridge of my nose, or highlight. And because I've got a small forehead, as you can see, it's not that big, I want to highlight the fact that I have a forehead. It is there, so that's why I'm using the lighter shade on my forehead. And I'm bringing it up quite high because, my forehead is not that big. And my chin is also quite, it's really non-existent, to be honest. Because everything is so compressed. And you want to really, the goal is, to elongate your face. So that's what we do with this. Just keep it at one point, at one spot. Because if you just put it all over, it's just going to make your chin wider, and we don't want to make it wider. We want to elongate the face, right? And you can do the same here on the Cupid's bow to make everything look a little bit longer than it is. Now is with a damp beauty blender, I'm just gonna first of all blend in the concealer under my eyes. And take it all the way down. Take it all the way down. Don't hesitate to blend, blend, blend. And like I said before, I didn't want to like go all the way up, so I'm trying to avoid that, but still blend it, you know, properly and stuff. So now that we've kind of blended that, I'll take the back of the Beauty Blender and just go down, you know. Usually I will go to the side, but you know, now that we want to elongate the face, we just move down. All right, moving on to the nose. And then we move on to the forehead. Just try to keep it in this one spot and not just blend again to the sides, because you're gonna make your forehead wide instead of longer, you know what I mean? So just take notice of that. As long as that's right. A Cupid's bow. You can just blend a bit under your nose as well, you know, because these corners, the corners of your nose, they tend to get a bit, well, they don't really pick up the product as good as I would like it to. So, and just stick into that one area, like I said before, on the chin. So now that we've got all of that sorted, we're going to move on to setting the under eye. Right, and I'm just using the Airspun powder for this. I already put it in here in the lid, so I can't really show you. But I'm using that powder. And I'll just pick up a bit on the sponge, right? And I'll start again in the inner corner and work my way down on the nose, right? And go down a bit. That's it. And go down the bridge of my nose, because we highlighted that. I will just always take a bit of powder and, you know, put it on my forehead. So that should be good. And we can wipe that off whenever we want to, so. And on the chin. Like that. You basically, all the areas that you've highlighted is the areas that you want to set. So now we're moving on to the contouring, the fun part, and I'm using the LA Girl Pro, and this is in the shade Beautiful Bronze, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out a little bit, because it's quite creamy and it's gonna look really intense if you take out too much, right? And usually they say like go in a number 3, so start from the forehead, go all the way down in a 3, but that's not really what we're gonna do, because they usually, people with a longer face, contour the top of their forehead, like the top part of their forehead, and we're not gonna do that because it's gonna compress again. So we're just gonna do the sides, right? If it wants to come out, that is. So yeah, got the side there, and then we need another side. As you can see, it is a little bit dark, a little bit too dark, but that's okay. And we're gonna do the chin and the jaw, of course, because my jaw is pretty non-existent, you know. So I wanna get that back, and the chin, the jaw. And then we're gonna move to the cheeks. And I'm actually not gonna put it in the hollows of my cheeks, but a bit above that actually. So as you can see, these are not, the hollows are right there, and I'm placing it a little bit more above the hollow, right? And I'm just gonna leave it like that. The one thing I do want to address is that a lot of people would actually carve in their cheeks, but yeah, my cheeks are already really big and I don't really want to accentuate them any further. It doesn't make any sense to do that, so yeah, that's why I'm not doing that. So just take any like small brush like this and that should do the trick. So I'm just gonna start with my jaw and try to really buff that in, because you don't want any harsh lines, you know, that would be looking crazy. And now for the forehead, just always try to blend into the hairline. Yeah, so for the forehead, try to blend upwards instead of downwards, because you know, you don't want to make your forehead non-existent, make it really tiny. So always don't forget to, you know, blend upwards. I would suggest using a lighter contour shade. I wouldn't recommend this shade, but this is what I picked, so yeah, gotta deal with it. Alright, so that's it. And try to take it down a bit. You know, honestly, if you really want to make your face narrow, you can always add some on the side here, right, on the temples of your face, and that will really make your face look narrow and longer. All right, moving on to the cheek. I think I'm gonna use a bit more because it was pretty dried up. So I'm just gonna use a bit more, and this time try it straight away. So now what we can do is basically wipe away the excess powder that we had on our nose and, you know, under eyes. So then it should look something like this. And we're gonna move on to the nose contour, which is quite important as well, you know. And I'll just put a bit under my nose just to lift it a bit, and I'll start right at the beginning of our brow and go down and do it the same. And this we can basically just buff in with our fingers. Don't have to, but you know, I was just too lazy to get another brush, so yeah. So then this is how it looks. That's looking pretty good. Now we're gonna move on to our powder contour, because obviously we've used cream products right now. And now we have to set our face with some powder, and I am using the NYX contour palette, you know. This is pretty good. I'm actually using the same brush that I did my contour with, the cream contour. And I'm probably gonna use like a type of bronzy type of shade for now, right? And I'm gonna start with my jaw. Yes, I'm gonna start with my jaw. And I'm actually gonna take a lot of product because I really wanna make sure that jaw is defined, because it wasn't defined at all, right? So that is quite important. Now we're gonna go on to our, and for the cheeks, just try to make sure to brush it in circular motions, right? And don't brush it down so make your face look droopy, right? Try not to brush it down. So that's how it's gonna look. Now on to the hairline or the forehead. And yeah, I'm just gonna take that down here as well, like I did with the cream contour. And for the nose, of course, I'm gonna just set that easily as well. Just make sure it's not too harsh. So I'm just gonna go over it again with my powder a bit and on the sides, just to make sure that nose is really narrow. You know, it can't hurt to go over it again, I suppose. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna bake these parts of our face to make the contour really stand out. Because I've had quite a hard hand in the contour, so I'm just gonna dim that down a bit, but at the same time it's really gonna pop out as well. But I just want to make it a little bit more chiseled and defined, and that's what this does, you know. Just try to go over the areas like the nose and put a bit more on the forehead. I can do this because, you know, well, I need to do this because my face is so round. And I basically have to create my own cheeks, because my cheeks are just the entire portion on the side, not just a cheek by itself. So yeah, that's it, and we're just gonna leave that on for a little while. You can just take a brush, a big fluffy brush, and go over the contour with a little bit of setting powder. Like a tiny bit, like not too much, right? A tiny bit. Just to dim it down a bit, because it was quite intense, you know? Yeah. So our next step is the blush, and I am using the Physicians Formula for the blush, I can't speak no more. And for the blush, I suggest you would use a more of an angled brush, but yeah, I don't have an angled brush available right now, so I'm using a small brush. Just use a small brush, because a big brush is not gonna work, right? Because you're not gonna start here. That's what people can do that have slimmer faces, right? We can't start there. We have to basically start here, just at the top, at the most top part of the contour and go right there. Right? You see that? It's not intense, it's just, it's not that much. But you know, you can't just start at the apples of your cheek because it's just gonna be too intense basically. So yeah, that's how we do that. So now that everything has been marinating, as you can say, I'm just gonna brush that off. And make sure not to brush down or up too much because, you know, it's going to defeat the purpose of actually doing this in the first place. I do think I have more of a chiseled face. Yeah, all I'm going to do right now is just do my bottom lashes and my lipstick, and that should be it. So this is the final look, and yeah, if you like this final look, then please don't forget to give this video a like. And you know, if you have any more suggestions on how to you know, tutorials that I can do or anything else, just you can always leave it down below in the comment section. And yeah, if you like this video, please give this video a like. Don't forget to comment in the comment section down below, and you can always subscribe if you want to. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again in another video.